Huh. I'm Sophie, I'm 15, and I think loneliness can be a good thing, which doesn't make sense when you think about it because loneliness has really bad effect on the body. Sometimes when you're lonely, parts of your brain can be understimulated, which can cause to neurodegeneration leading to dementia later in life, or just a number of health issues. John Cacioppo talks about it in his book called Loneliness, which I have yet to read, but I read the synopsis. And loneliness has such consequential health effects to it, but I think there can be a good side of it too, which I know doesn't make any sense. But I wanted to talk about my experience with loneliness in hopes that I can, I don't even know. Or maybe I'm just yapping to make myself feel better about it. I don't really know. But, I'm a pretty lonely person. I got a small circle. I got a few friends. My family's not that close knit, but there are some people that will show up and it's just even better, you know? But other than that, yeah, I am pretty lonely. But every time that I've been through a really, really dark, lonely time in my life, I've come back hopefully a little better for the people that come into my life later. So, going out of 8th grade and into 9th grade, I had lost a best friend that I really, 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 really loved. I'd actually lost 2 best friends I really loved, for different reasons. I don't know what one of them was. He kind of just left the entire friend group, no word, and he was like a brother, and I really, really loved him. And that hurt really bad, and I was really lonely, and I kind of just shut off, and I didn't talk to anybody throughout freshman year. I didn't know how to make friends, and I was like, okay, well, if I do something so wrong where everyone's just gonna leave anyway, what's the point? Which kind of just made me lonelier. Whoops. But there was also the other friend that wasn't in my life anymore, and that was a really, really weird, big adjustment because I loved him in a different way. That's so stupid. That's actually so stupid. Every time I think about him, I feel so dumb because it's what was I doing? Oh my god. It's okay. It's okay. We all have those moments. But yeah, he was really good at making people not like themselves. So, whoops. I don't want to blame him for that. That's was. I let him take that effect on me, but he still could have been nicer. But anyways, so having those 2 friends not be in my life kind of made me question social circles, friendships, just everything. And I shut down. I didn't talk to anybody. I was in the corner, and I was very lonely. And then I started to I don't know. I didn't have very many people around me to influence me, so I kind of had to make my own personality. And growing up, I had to do that too, because my parents were pretty controlled by their parents when they were growing up. And so I think my parents kind of decided, okay, we're gonna let her do her own thing. So I grew up very lonely too. But because of that, I didn't have very many people influencing me and telling me who to be. And that really kind of helped in a way. I'm hoping. I'm thinking. Because now I am who I am, and I don't know how that would be different if they were a little bit more strict about who I had to become, who I had to be. But they never put any pressure on me, which definitely made me feel like they didn't care, because they were so not there, you know? I don't want to say not there, because they had stuff going on for them. They were in their 20s, so they were pretty young. But they were okay, we're gonna let her go do her own thing, and I did. I kind of did become my own person, and then I had those friends, and I was in that friend group with a few other people. Now we all go to the same school, and we talk about that friend group like it was World War III. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. But yeah, I kind of lost any sense of self that I had developed, and then after them, I was so lonely again, and so I had to develop that personality back again. And then I kind of did. I feel like I found things that I really like. I started getting more into style. I started listening to more music. I started drawing. Anywho, sorry, I thought my mom was out there doing her thing, so I kind of shut it off because I didn't want her to Anyway, I was just being neurotic, but I figured out like things that I like again, which was so nice. I started styling clothes because I didn't have to worry about like what my friends were thinking, because I didn't have friends to worry about what they were thinking. So I started wearing jeans again, and I started wearing jewelry that I've made again, and I wasn't just wearing like an oversized hoodie and leggings. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was like I felt like I had a choice with like who I could be again, and that was really nice. And I think it's because I was lonely that kind of helped. It helped me to develop a personality. It also helped me to see like how much I value connection, which is what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel, is trying to like, I don't know, make a community, help people feel not alone, because that really sucks. Having some semblance of community is something that I've learned that I really value within the past like year or two. Oh my gosh, yeah, 2 years now specifically. I've realized how much I value community and having people, because I've never really like had much of that, but I really want it. Like, it is something that I really want. Which, yes, sounds desperate, and I am a little bit desperate for that, and I will admit that, because I'd rather admit that than be in denial about it. And just have that linger and take over my mind at some point. But anyways, so yeah, I think loneliness can be a good thing. It can, I mean, not for a prolonged period of time. I'm not that lonely anymore. Like, I would just burst out crying in the middle of the day because I was so lonely. I had no one to talk to, or at least I felt like I had no one to talk to. I did. I had a few people that I could talk to, I just didn't want to bother them. But I'm not as lonely now. My little brothers are coming back in town, which I'm so excited about. They came into my life and they saved me easily. Easily. They are, man, kids really help. They're so light. And they are love. They're just these little bundles of love who don't know any better. They don't know anything else than to love, than to have fun. Like, they're not, like, they're just so pure and innocent and loving. And they just fill you with joy. And they say the sweetest, cutest things so out of pocket all the time. And they look up with you with these little cute little faces and these humongous smiles. And they are amazing. And I love them so much. And they're coming back in town, and I get them back. So, and I'm going to school, somewhat hopeful. Not completely hopeful, but somewhat hopeful. So, hopefully I won't be as lonely, but if I am really lonely again, I'll learn something through it. That's what I've learned from loneliness, and that's why I think that it can be a good thing, within moderation. But if you are getting to a point where you're like really badly lonely, there are people and things that can help. I promise you that, and I promise that it'll always get better. I don't know what you believe in, but if believing in a higher power helps you, absolutely, go for it. Pray your heart away. If you don't, if you just want to journal about it, go for it. Write until your fingers bleed. Like, you do you. You do you. But loneliness can be a good thing, so don't be too afraid to sit with your thoughts and figure out exactly what it is and make a game plan on how to help that, or really focusing on how much you can love, how much love you can give. That is also something that I'm trying to do with this channel. It's like, I have so much love to give because I don't have that many people in my life. So when I do have people to love, I love them so much more. And that does bring me a little bit more joy than it did before when I wasn't as lonely. So overall, I think it can be a good thing. And I don't really know what I'm yapping about, but I think this will be like a 10-minute video when I clip them together. So yeah, loneliness can be a good thing, and not always something to be scared of, or something to be ashamed of. Most certainly not something to be ashamed of. It's a human thing, you know? I'm being very philosophical, and I only have a decade and a half worth of experience, but I don't know, man. Also, I'm playing with like a little green bead. So, yeah, anyway, eat, drink, sleep. I love you. Take care of yourself. One step at a time. You got this. I love you. Bye.